All right, I'm here today to tell you why you suck at disc golf. And let's face it, a lot of you guys suck at disc golf. I suck at disc golf too. I've sucked at disc golf for years and I still suck today. We all suck at disc golf a little bit, some more than others, but we all suck a little bit. We know, all right? Just like golf, disc golf, a lot of people suck at it. That's why it's fun. It's fun to get better. But I'm gonna tell you why you suck. And I know you're gonna tell me, Tyler, I know why I suck, okay? I suck at putting, I suck at up shots, and I suck at tee shots. And I'm gonna say, you know what, you're right. That is why you suck. Kind of, but you're missing the key point right here. And the key point is there are underlying factors. Those are just the symptoms for the reasons why you actually suck. And I'm gonna tell you right now, there's 3 reasons. And if you can identify these 3 things and fix them in your game, you will inevitably become a way better player. All right, first up, first reason why you suck. This is why almost everyone sucks off the tee and with their up shots. And it's very simple. You don't know your bag. Now I get it. There's a lot of fun new discs out there. You want to try all these new things out. You want to put the Berg X in your bag. You want to try out the time lapse. You want to try every new disc. You want to try every new print of every mold that you have. But let's face it, if you want to be good at disc golf, you have to learn your discs and know them like the back of your hand. So when you're stepping up to any situation during a round, your disc is going to do what you want it to. I can't tell you how many times I've played with guys that are literally throwing discs for the first time and they don't do what they want them to do. Or guys step up to the tee, they throw a shot and they're like, oh, that disc never does that. It always flexes out. Like, I've done it before. I've taken my Halo Destroyer, thrown it into a headwind, and it turns over. And I go, why did it turn over like that? Well, I probably haven't thrown it into a headwind that much. And it does turn over sometimes into a headwind, and I had to put it on more hyzer. Even though without wind, it's usually pretty beefy, I should know that it's gonna turn over if I throw it flat into a headwind. So how do you fix this? You can get new discs. Stick with the same molds. Try to stick with the same molds. You can go kind of within different companies, right? The Athena and the T-Bird are generally gonna be pretty similar, but stick with that 7502 flight number pattern, right? I like throwing destroyers. The only distance drivers I throw are destroyers. I get tons of different variations of them, but I really know the destroyer really well. And inside of just the destroyer, I know how all my different destroyers fly because I've thrown them a lot. This guy I've had for like a year now, and I get a bunch of these 2020 Kelvin destroyers because I like how they fly and I know how they fly and I'm familiar with them. Same thing goes for you. Find a disc that you like. You can buy all different types of that disc and you can even try new discs, but if you're gonna put a new disc in your bag, learn how it flies, learn all the angles, learn all the different things it does with the wind, how it flies when you put it up on hyzer, super high, nose up, how it flies when you put it sort of nose down into the ground a little bit, flex shots, hyzer flips. You should know every single shot with a disc like the back of your hand so that when you pull it out during a tournament, you're not surprised. A great example right here is the hole behind me. This is the blue tees at Riverton, hole 6. It's 463. There's a bit of a headwind here. And inevitably, every time that someone plays the blue tees here in a tournament, there are some bogeys. And in my opinion, you really should never bogey this hole unless you get really unlucky or some really tough wind. And we do have some tough wind right here. But even if you don't have 450 to get within putting range, you should at least be getting a par almost every time because it's just a nice turnover line, flexes out, and lands in the middle. You should know a disc that you can do that with, and you should be able to predictably throw the disc, even with some wind, in a way that's gonna leave you in an easy spot because it's wide open, easy upshot. The only time you're gonna get a bogey here, if you know your disc, is if you're putting terribly. So I know this destroyer, even with the headwind, if I put it relatively flat out to the right, it's gonna turn over, pan back. It's probably not gonna make it because it's too much headwind to go 450, but it's gonna land in the middle. I'm probably like 60, 70 feet short, but I'm way up there in the middle. It panned out a little bit, came into the middle of the fairway. I have a long look for birdie and I'm probably getting a par. That's because I know what my disc does, and even with the wind, even with a tough hole, I can put it right where I want it. All right, second reason why you suck at disc golf, and again, this is very simple stuff. I have to include it because it is part of the 3 reasons why people suck, but I have to tell you right now because people neglect it anyways. Second reason why you suck at disc golf, you don't practice enough putting. Nobody is just innately a great putter, okay? Every good putter practices. If you want to be good at putting, you have to get familiar with the basket, you have to get familiar with your putter, and you have to have confidence when putting. Just putting for 15 minutes a day for like a month, maybe even a couple weeks, will be more than enough to become a competent putter at almost every level of play. Even as like a 950, 960, 970 rated MPO player, 15 minutes a day throughout the year, not even every day, let's say like 4 times a week, 15 minutes a day, you will become a way better putter. All right, the third and final reason why you suck at disc golf is you make bad decisions. Let's face it, we all make bad decisions. But if you suck at disc golf, you're probably making a lot of bad decisions during a round. Let's take this for an example, all right? Maybe I got, the tee pad's back there. You can see I'm kind of in the woods a little bit over here in the rough. The fairway is right over there. It's got a wide open look to the basket. I'm throwing 2 on a par 4, and I still want to try and get my birdie. So I'm gonna try and, I don't know, throw a big turnover this way or jam something up the middle. I'm trying to get into position up at the basket so I can make a putt. Why? Why would you do that? If you wanted to get a birdie, you had to throw a better tee shot so you can land in the fairway so you can try to get to the basket. At this point, I don't see really many opportunities to get to the basket cleanly, and the most likely outcome, like 99% of the time, if you try and scramble for a birdie from here, you're gonna end up in a way worse position than you are right now. At this point, I can still get a par and get away from this hole despite my terrible first shot. But I see people all the time, including myself sometimes, trying to still scramble for the birdie that they just don't deserve anymore. You threw a bad shot, get over it, make the decision that is best for you, just pitch up into the fairway and take the easy shot. Look where I'm at right now. Okay, the fairway's right there. I can see it. The basket's kind of far away and behind a bunch of trees. I'm not getting there. I'm just gonna take my Toro. I'm gonna throw a little pitch up forehand. I'm right in the middle of the fairway. I'm throwing an easy backhand about 150 feet up to the basket, and we're fine. I mean, what are my other options here? Maybe I can try and jam something up the middle here. Well, that kicked off to the left, and now I'm in the woods on the left over there, scrambling, now trying to get into position to putt for par. You know what, maybe I'll throw a turnover. Maybe I'll take my envy. Wind's kind of blowing in my direction. It's a little bit more open. It could put me in the fairway. It's a little bit riskier than that first shot, but hey, maybe I can still get my birdie from here. Let's put this up here, get it on some turnover angle, and we can get it up to the basket. Let's give it a try. Oh, and I caught a branch because it was a very narrow margin, and now I'm stuck behind 1,000 trees over to the left, still trying to pitch up for a par. In every single one of those scenarios, yeah, maybe there was a 1% chance I got within putting range for a birdie, but now I have 3 outcomes. 1 where I played safe and I'm getting an easy par. 2 where I tried to get a birdie and I'm getting maybe a very difficult par and most likely a very frustrating bogey. Sometimes you just have to make better decisions during your rounds. You're playing golf after all. It is about making it through a round, making good decisions. It's not about being the hero and just making these insane shots all the time. You're not Simon Lizotte. You're not gonna throw it in from 300 feet away, okay? Just get back into the fairway, take your par and move on. All right, I'm back home right now because apparently I didn't record an outro for this video, but that's okay because there's not that much else to talk about, okay? Just wrap things up. 3 things you gotta remember, 3 reasons you suck at disc golf. Pay attention to all 3 of these, work on them, you will get better, I guarantee. All right, number 1, recap. Number 1, you don't know what your discs do, you're not familiar with them. Do some field work, take them to the course, don't switch them out too often. If you do, stick with the same molds. If you put new stuff in, get familiar with it before you start throwing it in tournaments. Number 2, gotta practice putting. 15 minutes a day is plenty. Just 15 minutes of putting a day, you will guaranteed become a better putter. Number 3, make better decisions. Don't do stupid stuff out on the course. Just take time to think about things. When you do mess up, take note of it. Try not to do it again in the future. Build on that. You'll get a lot better over time. All right. If you want more tips like this, want to help me out, check out my Patreon in the description. Go to otbdisc.com. Get 10% off your order with code Tyler. Thanks for watching. Hope it helped. See you next time. Peace.